Alright guys, got another track walkthrough here. This time North Wilkesboro. Might be probably the first time a lot of us have raced here. So this is probably going to be a pretty useful guide. I'll pick it up here 7-8 laps into a run. Go through a few laps early in the run. And then later in the run, like if you look, I go up to lap 70. I did a 70 lap AI race. The last 5-6 laps I try a couple things out and I do some mistakes that I found while doing this to try and avoid. So currently in 3-4 here, come into start finish line. You got two different types of turns here. So first thing entering turn 1 to look for, you have all these white lines. The first one that starts to angle to the left, and you also get the one up in the top groove appears pretty much the same spot, is a good braking and turn in point. You'll see I pretty much right where I expect those to be. I'm off the brake, or off the gas here, which is pretty much right on top of it. Not too hard on the brake, about 50%. Letting it roll out a little bit. So I'm just using that initial stab to 50% and then I'm kind of rolling out of it. You want to get it generally as close to the bottom as possible. Turn 1 and 2 is a bit of a double apex, meaning I'm going to apex here. I'm going to diamond it out a little bit and then I'm going to apex again for the exit. The inside of turn 1 and 2 is completely grass though, whereas turn 3 and 4 has a curb, kind of like Martinsville would have. So you gotta be careful, because if you put the tires on the grass, you're probably gonna lose it. So just something to keep in mind, maybe not get as close as you maybe normally would. And I don't double apex it here quite as good as I was talking about, but you want to make an apex somewhere right here, just to get a good run off the corner. Once I hit that apex, you can see my throttle down here. I'll start, and I'm patient here. I'm almost on straightaway and I'm still not full throttle, and then pretty much right when I get onto the straightaway, I'm full throttle here. Turn 3 and 4, you have a similar thing. It's a little bit more difficult to catch, but where the white lines start angling to the left before the turn. So right about here. I think it's one of these two. It's going to be where it is. Yeah, so honestly, even a little bit before that. Pretty much same amount of brake, just a hard initial press, getting it turn in. You want to get this as close to the curb as possible, and you can see I'm already out of the brake at this point. Speed it up. So you're gonna really start picking up the throttle, at least on fresher tires, kind of between this and this, which is pit entry. And that may adjust as a run goes. You may have to wait longer and longer, and you might be able to pick it up a little bit before this, early in the run, but you generally speaking, somewhere in there is where you're going to pick it up, and you want to be usually as low as possible. You'll see later in this that I do run a lap or two up high just to kind of compare. That it's possible, it's just not as fast, but it will make it difficult for somebody to pass you. So I go back to full throttle pretty much right after I pass the pit entry. So I'm full throttle at this point. So now I'll let a couple laps play out full speed so you can kind of see what it looks like full speed, and then I'll go to the end and show you a couple laps. see that last lap there, I got back in the throttle a little aggressively and actually started pushing off the floor. So that's kind of something to avoid. So now later in the run, I think this lap 64, I do a normal lap. 65 and 66, I try and run a groove up. I think I mess it up a little bit on 65, but at 66 I do it. And then 67, I think I turn in too early into 3 and 4, which is a common mistake. When you do that, it gets incredibly loose. So that's something to avoid. So I think 64 here. You can see I'm a little bit more patient, but it's not significant. Brakes, I'm kind of treating the same. Alright, 65 here. Turning in at the same point, I'm just running this, the white line is essentially the groove I want to run. You can see I get a little crossed up. You can see it in the steering inputs here on corner entry. So I missed it a little bit, so I run it again this lap. Previous lap was a 9:52. This lap was a 20.1. This one I run it a lot better, and I think I run a 9:52 again. Or a 9 something. I don't run quite, but I run a little bit higher, and it's possible. And then this lap here, I do 1 and 2 normal, but then I turn into 3 and 4 way earlier than you normally would. So normally I would do it kind of out here, but I'm already turning in here. And it gets incredibly loose, and honestly, I don't know how I saved that. But yeah, that's, from what I've found, that's probably the biggest thing to avoid is turning in too early to 3 and 4 will cause that, and it is hairy when it happens. So I think that's all I got for this video. If you guys got questions, let me know. Thanks.